Hello, how's it going? Good to see you. Hope everything's going well. I wonder if I can reorganize this to have a little bit better lighting, because if you don't directly point it at the light source, it looks a little bit better. But it does look. Let me adjust this just a tiny bit. Fine, turn the exposure on. And that makes this is so not what I want to do today. This is so not what I want to do today. There we go. I'm no longer a ghost, and it looks a lot better. We're keeping that all in. We're raw. We're uncut. We're like HBO in the 90s. We just watched Beastmaster. In the edit, I'm going to cut that little pause I took out where I was trying to think of ending to that bit, and it'll look like I'm really smart. So, here, we're going to do maybe the most popular type of video on my channel. It's not popular, my videos aren't popular at all. That everybody loves, everybody wants to watch, everybody is interested in watching a writing vlog. Yeah, everybody was excited for that. Everybody was really happy to hear that, and that's what everybody was waiting for. Hooray! Anyways, so we got a ton of projects to work on, including a thing I'm struggling with. Well, I'm currently in the process of editing something, and I don't have ideas necessarily for it at the moment. But what I can do is work on editing it down because of some notes I received. So I find when I'm really stuck on something, what I do is I will just try and edit it down a little bit to at least feel like I'm accomplishing stuff. And I know editing, I shouldn't say that. That's bad of me to say. Oftentimes it's good to, people get really in their head about trying to always be writing, and honestly, editing is just as important as writing, and that's probably what we're going to do a lot in this video right here that people will watch and love, and this is definitely a thing that is popular and not the death knell of these sorts of channels. Enough complaining. Boop, boop, boop. That's how you do it. A rhythm. I've successfully written today. Hooray! I can call it. Oh, I was going to set myself a timer for this. I set it for 2 hours. This video won't be 2 hours, but it'll involve me doing this stuff for about 2 hours. Why did I do that? Why would I do something like that to myself? I say 2 hours. There may be a chance. It's not 2 hours. We'll see. When I am waiting for a message from somebody. That's right. I like proven innocent. I'm trying to innocent. That could be as a word on this. It could be proven innocent. Barrel. We have to. Okay, talk up. No, that's fine. So right now, what we're dealing with is rewriting chapter 2 and possibly writing a new chapter or something. One of the things. Let me show you this. It's not going to be consistent exactly what I work on, because I'm going to probably work on a few different things while doing this. But one of the things with my thing right now is, okay, it starts off pretty sensible. Chapter 1, chapter 2. Let's see, where's chapter 2? Where are you? Chapter 2. Chapter 3. And then somewhere along the line, the chapters lose their sense. And there's like, okay, chapter 6. I want to find where the chapters start. This is all conventional and lineal at the moment, and I want to find, where it stops being lineal. There's 2 chapter 6s, and then a chapter 8, and so forth. Now, the reason for that is because I keep adding new stuff and not changing the numbers to reflect that. So we've got a situation where there's like 4 chapter 6s, 5 chapter 7s, so on and so forth. And not literally, but... And the thing is, you may be asking yourself, well, Sean, why don't you just renumber it already? What are you doing? And it's like, the thing is, every time I renumber it, I come up with a new idea for a new chapter, and my numbering is completely destroyed again. So I'm just not going to bother that. Now, the real answer, the real question is, well, why don't you just get rid of the numbers and just have names? And I'm like, you're so judgy, little camera. They're judging me. How dare you judge me? I judge you! The light thing that just happened that we have to deal with. You're now the one who's being judged. No, thank you, Creative Club. Thank you. I don't know. Tense change. Return to there. So one of, oh God, it's almost like Graham really has some issues. So what you're seeing right now is a lot more of a raw, unfiltered story that I have yet to edit, and most of this is just made up of transcripts from text to, other way around, speech to text program. Otter mostly. It's a fun idea. It's about a pro wrestling mermaid. I'm trying. One of my ideas is I want to write a few short stories with my main character from my main book, novella, and have them just on independent little adventures. And the hope is, my beautiful little camera friend, that I can sell them to magazines and get her name out there earlier and have them be shorter than... Honestly, that was the plan for this, by the way. This chapter right here, this whole thing right here, which just turned into words. It's not a novel. It's 23,000 words. That was the plan, and then the story expanded. And this mermaid thing is threatening to expand as well. Short stories are hard. Keep them contained. That is very difficult. It's very difficult. But that's what we do. And now I'm worried that... No. Not accidentally streaming. These little adventures are always difficult because usually I'm listening to music while doing these, but that's not a thing right now that I can do because I gotta talk and listen to people, and I do streams all the time, and we're gonna do one soonish. But that's easy because other people will just talk to me and I can respond. Here, I gotta be the only voice you hear. I don't got anybody with me. It's just me by myself. Forever. And ever. Ooh, just know something. And ever? So, something that really helps me, and this is something I don't want to work on stream, is actually having a few projects opened at once. So when my focus, as it will, gets distracted, I can quickly just switch to another one. Storage thing. And this is the only time, by the way, I think, where I let people can always read my prose on stream. Nobody does. Everybody always asks me about that. Why am I so comfortable just showing my prose on stream? I'm like, because nobody reads them. Nobody reads my prose. Nobody reads anybody's prose. That's how it's like how TV works, I guess. Or writing streams works. Everybody just focuses on my little square right here, not the person. So right now, we got my main character, Luna. She will be a professional wrestling orc. Right now, she's in a human village for the first time, and I want her to have just a little bit of an experience with the human village before we segue into wrestling completely. And it could involve wrestling, I don't know. One thing I was thinking about last night is, so Luna, she's lived on top of the mountains most of her life with her clan, and her clan are isolationists who are scared of the outside world. Basically, they're the orc Amish and all that. And so I was thinking about this. So she's just in the village that's nearest her village. And logically, I'm sure several orcs who left that village would, right? They would just be in the village. They wouldn't be moving too far past that, right? So I thought that might be good, but I don't know. Then there's a even more dramatic death scene I've written. Okay. And fun thing about doing these sorts of things is I probably won't use any of the material, because I never do with these, which is bad, but it's true. Anything to avoid actual work, I guess. Town York. Because it's just a provincial village. It's a provincial village. That's the problem. It's like fantasy has a logical progression usually, and it's... You start in a small village you start in a small village and then slowly you work your way out, and it's like, how do you make the village exciting? I don't know. I don't know. People seem to like the small village now. The cozy fantasy it seems to be about just moving to the nice starting town, and it's like, and to be fair, in real life, a lot of these running villages would be ideal places to live, but it was just a small provincial village, a bit bigger than most, in that a bit bigger than most because it was on the water and tradespeople like to pass through here, but still, most people that lived in this area would go a few miles down south where it was less cold to the city of Linderhorn. Red River was a place to be if Linderhorn was too scary. So this is a little project I've been working on. It's kind of a fairy tale remix. This one's very pretentious. It's very pretentious, you know. It's trying to do Trump thing. Another day passed without him being there. It was night when they woke up again, but emotionally, it was day. It was dead. Yet emotionally, it was day. Birch always woke up first. So this is kind of a fairy tale redo, essentially. Okay, cool. I always put these little things when I'm like, okay, I have written something, I have an idea for something, but it doesn't necessarily connect to the rest of the story, and I put those there just so they'll be there, and I know that okay, this still need to connect this later, but I can get it done because it's you know, I think it's always important to just write when you have an idea. Like, don't worry about connecting it necessarily. Just write, and it'll connect later. You know, write what you want to write because there's always usually a scene running in your head. Okay, so there's a project I can't quite show yet, but I'm gonna work on it a little bit. But what we're gonna do for that is we're just gonna focus on my beautiful face. Yay, my beautiful face. You can't see my secret project that I don't want you guys to see yet because I'm not totally sure about the counts as first publication. I'll explain that when it happens. Okay. This is so frustrating, this project, because it's never, like, the thing, I'll talk about it more, it was never meant to be, like, a big thing. I was never meant to work on it as much. It was just, like, a joke I did once. And now it's, like, my life, this project. Okay. Just use the suggestion I had. Right? Yeah. I'm very emotionally exhausted from this project that I'm working on that I can't show you because I don't want to. I'm gonna go back to stuff I'm more confident in. It's fun. What's frustrating is it's funny, but having to be funny with the approval of others, and it's very difficult to do because it's not being funny is one trying to be funny is one thing, and it's a lot of just relying on your own internal clock. But having to be funny for other people and trying to figure out what they like is difficult. Because it's if you're writing humor, at least this is my advice as a guy who's had several very good friends tell them he's funny, is you just try and figure out what makes you laugh and don't do worry, but don't worry so much about other people. Because it's like if you find it funny, then a bunch of weirdos who are exactly like you will also probably find it a little bit funny. And that's a good place to start. Just checking to make sure that I remember to turn it back. Just checking to make sure I'm recording. Oh, how terrible would that be if I wasn't recording? I'm recording. Good. Let's keep moving. Her other sisters always slept as long as they felt like. Not that this was an issue. Birch was always envious of her sisters, who could sleep long hours undisturbed. Why? One time, Birch herself was anxious and was always worried that sleep was a bit too much like death, and if she gave in too much to sleep, death would find her soon. But her other desire was, but waking up early also meant that she would get fresh. Waking up early meant she would also get precious alone time, able to glide through the forest with little worry about the sisters finding her. There was the nagging thought in the back of her mind that one day, potentially. So, this is a little bit. I had a story with a similar sort of setup to this sometime well in the past in my life. And the file got corrupted, so I just don't have access to that story anymore. And I've always been very sad because I thought there was some good writing in it. And I'm a little bit trying to remember what I wrote. And I don't know. Maybe it sucks. Maybe this writing sucks and everybody hates it. But I have to continue on with this, assuming that I have some skill and ability, and I have some people who would be very entertained by my writing. Because if not, then I'm doing it just for me. And man, am I tired of hanging out with that guy. Oh, that guy, he's always around me. She was a master of this place. She could slip and glide through the tree tops, the way people walk on the ground. Each swing, each branch, her domain. Each day she did this, she found she got a little bit faster, a little bit further than she got before. There was part of herself that she was finding. See all these red lines? They get... Don't worry about that. I fix all this stuff later. This is just raw, undiluted material. Everybody's working for the week. I got 1 million views on the video once. Someday, quite against her own will, she would find a way out of the forest. What was life outside of the forest? She always assured herself that no. Even if she found a way out, she'd stay. She could never betray her mother and her sisters like that. Why, her mother was in such debt that the only logical thing that the sisters could have done was move into the forest and spend 13 years gathering sap. She was 3 at the time when they did that. Here, she knew she could, though. Her sisters would think she was dead. They'd report her dead. She could be living her life far away from them, doing whatever she wanted. What was that, though? What would she do? Would she be? These questions weren't going away in her head and stopped her momentum. She just found herself lying against a branch, staring into the dark abyss above her and thinking, what was her destiny? It's how she missed him. Hello! The lower timber unsettled her. It should be kept in mind that Birch had only ever heard her sisters and the old man who came to visit talk. And her sister, the old man, only ever grunted as he leaned down to pick up each and every bottle individually. The clear, concise voice was unsettling. She spied through the treetops and saw its owner. He was a young man carrying a small lantern with him. "Hi, I see you up there," he said. "No, I'm Beast. You, the girl in the tree." What manner of beast was he talking to? "You, the girl in the tree," he said. Wait, did I say that out? Wait, did I say that out loud? Look at it, it's writing down. Hey, how's it go? Yes. He was hard to totally make out. The darkness of the surrounding area was barely beaten back by his small lantern, but she could make out a silhouette. Was human. There was always a chance it was some crafty shapeshifter. I don't know why I'm making that sound. Let's see. How much stuff have I written? Workout. Hopefully, that's all in this week. Well, this week's been a little bit. At a certain point doing these things, I just want it to end. Because it's hard to maintain this level of focus. By the way, I'm not doing 2 hours. I know I said I'd do 2 hours. That's, no, we'll do an hour. It's hard to maintain focus without a little music or just something. It's good, but she had turned a pale shade of green. There was a smile on her face. Clearly, this is the one I have ideas for right now, so this is the one I should be working on. These blocks of text. Oh god, this is just dictation I did, and I have to edit it, but I'm like, having to edit that dictation is so tedious. I often just save it for writing streams because it's like, well, that's something I can do kind of mindlessly on stream. It's something I can do to distract myself. To write. You can do this. How long have I been streaming for? Why, it's getting dark. I called them the Hallow Sisters. I don't know. I wanted to do something more modern as my next story. I didn't want to do another fantasy thing, but I'm currently in a class that teaches how to write stories through fairy tales, and I don't know. That's just what came to me. Oh, right. Well, the reason it came to me is because we had our first little assignment was to rewrite a story we read, and it was the Three Sisters. Sorry. Three Sisters. It's an Italian variation of Red Riding Hood. And so this is just what came to me. And I ended up writing so much in it that I'm like, well, why not finish it? Why not? Beautiful. The night is beautiful. The dread of the night is beautiful. Ancient Price. Name it. Okay. I gotta explain. One of the things, to be fair, the book buys, but I don't know. To be fair, the book was. I got notes that occasionally my dialogue is a bit can be samey. I don't know. Sometimes I think that too at times, but sometimes I'm like, I can do pretty good dialogue. It's just people want a lot of. I've been given this note, so people want a lot of different things, and sometimes it's hard to have that be good dialogue when people want a lot of different things. Explained. Okay, Sean, you can do this. I hate that I said 2 hours. I'm not doing that. I feel bad, but it's not. It's going to be an hour. This is just going to be an hour long. It's a little hard to focus. 2 hours straight. Well, maybe I could do this, but not the writing and the talking. It's just pretty proud I connected one of these. That's always a good time when I connect. Back tool pages. How many pages is this? Oh, it's 4 pages. It's not bad. Shut up. 1,500. It was just somebody. I was listening to a thing. A friend was talking about how one of their chapters is 9,000 words, and I'm like, I don't think that's necessarily bad. The chapter's gonna be as long as you need them to be, but I get insecure if my chapters are over 1,000, and I know I have one that's about 2,000, but there's a lot of information introduced, and I always feel like that with chapters. Sometimes you have to be careful with the amount of information you introduce. What does clay smell like? It's a slate. This isn't ricer, but it's the closest thing I have to clay. People always want you to describe smells, but we dogs, man. We're not freaking dogs. We're human beings, and our lives are guided by sight and hearing. Smells are smelling's weeks. If you wrote this from a perspective of a dog, I'm sure they would describe it. If dogs could write words, I'm sure they would describe it. Their primary thing they would do, the sense they would go to a lot would be smelling. There's clay from the river. The clay from the river. The clay in the river smelled closely. Always made the river. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm trying to do a particular impersonation. It's not happening exactly how it should work to happen. I don't even have mental energy to deal with this thing. I have been recording for an hour. That's good. This is an hour record. I think this is a decent little sprint. I always feel like I end these in the same way. It was just like, I don't know, I'm tired now mentally. But good enough. Some nights I don't get this far. Well, see you. Oh, it felt like I'm ending my stream, but I'm not. I'm just talking to you fine folks. Well, bye.